if you do, I would put at Evan Me or whatever his Twitter handle is, because
At,
I pay for this stuff,
yeah,
and I pay for
at some point I can do that. I don't think I quite have the
Nah,
capability to
let's
do
just
that right
verbalize
now
it.
because
It's fine.
I'm just trying to watch the end of the game and
if you
keep
go
everything relevant on the screen right now. But I think we're live. If somebody wants to double check that for
You're
me.
like, I didn't even get to do my intro.
Well, I said should I hit go and you
Yeah,
guys
we're
told
live.
me to
We're
go.
live. Don't worry. We're live.
Okay.
Let me grab the link here. I'm just gonna share it around for a second.
I think I got the chat up. We'll see. I don't know
Dude,
about
you have the chat. It's pretty big.
that. I don't know. It could potentially be a big thing for us. So
Okay, let me do. Next time, start us an unlisted so I could share it out before you.
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
once I share it out, then
gotcha. Yeah, noted.
because I have to do kind of a crazy process here to get. Oh, where I put everything.
Yeah, I gotta get
Like
this
a-
link too. Well, I mean, shout out the 0 listeners right now. It's
I know, I'm not too worried about it, but
Anyway.
probably good on their part.
yeah, Julian, if you go to page below the lineup stuff, the heat map, I have a bunch of other stuff for like the shooting. I don't know if you're looking at it, but um,
I can hear you talk.
I was making sure the audio is okay. All right.
Okay.
And I've shared it with the Discord. All right. Don't worry, nobody's listening, so this will be fun. Baby, it's raining, raining. Oh, baby, it's raining, raining.
Okay. Let's talk, shall we? Usually we talk to no one anyway.
Yeah. This is what we're
All
used to.
So, welcome to Circle Up Podcast, where all our games are buy games. Perfect season. I'm joined always by Curtis and Mikkel, and we're gonna hop right into it. So right now we are live during the Mizzou game. We're not gonna track that too closely, as the Tigers are absolutely crushing this game. I know we expected a close one, but currently on my screen, they're up 63-39. And if you bet on this game, you're a monster. So first I want to jump into is a lot of the advanced stats are starting to cook some stuff up. We're 4 games into the season, some trends are starting to emerge, and so Mike, who's willing to drop the big dimes on all the high level analytics, have provided us some stuff here that I think is really interesting. So first of all, on our last live cast, we talked about how things of Sean Phillips don't seem great right now. And lo and behold, out of the top 10 players on our team who've gotten minutes, Sean Phillips has the lowest BPR. Only one in negative offense, and his defense is pretty low as well. So, what do we think about Sean Phillips ranking this low on the list right now?
Mike, I'm gonna let you handle this one.
balls in my
I know
court.
the numbers
in
the
my
numbers
court.
favor like this being a discussion. So I'm gonna let you go. And then,
Yeah, I'll take it from here. I think it's what we talked about, maybe one of our preview podcast like episodes, that he would be more, I think, defensive driven, which checks out of him having a positive defensive like Bayesian impact. That's pretty much all I got on that note. Honestly, until he like actually plays, like I'll dig into the Minnesota game. And then I'll be excited to watch him play against Notre Dame with like eyes on him to see like if it flips. Everyone else, like I think we're like, if you're into those stats, I think we're very well rounded.
so
Uh,
I've got like a million windows here because we're doing the live stream, so I can't pull up the stats. What are the offensive stats like for Phillips?
Not good. So,
Okay.
according
That's what I
to
figured.
Evan Mia, he's the worst ranked of the 10 players who've played this season. Partly because, in my opinion, the offense is in play. So do these stats consider their how much is it in the individual performance and how much is it that the team is doing when they're on the floor?
I
You muted
believe
yourself,
he's
Mike.
muted still. Yeah. All right. Well, the Bayesian stats would conclude.
Yeah, there was a
Okay,
expletive laced rant there as I unmuted myself. Those are individual, like the impact that he has against an average D1 opponent. Those are not indicative of his. They take his past performance, and it's how it's weighted against an average team.
He
So
is
I think
worse than average.
right now, yes, and I think it's interesting to look at because we've played a below average schedule. I think it's fair to say. So I don't know if it's just
Well, since this is an audio medium and the top five according to Evan Mia: Anthony Richardson, Mark Mitchell, makes sense. Jaden Stone, which based on these 4 games makes a lot of sense. The dude has honestly been playing amazing. Sebastian Mack at number 4, and then Jacob Cruz, who has a good offensive rating, but his defensive rating is not good. Though if this is individual, I agree. His individual defense is bad. I think he plays good team defense.
yeah.
Then it goes Porter, Tio, Luke, and then Randall, and then Phillips.
Can you
I mean,
run through those top 5 again for me real quick?
Top 5 is Ant, Mark Mitchell, Jane Stone, Sebastian Mack, Jacob Cruz.
Okay. Fair enough.
With the 3 best defenders being Robinson, Mitchell, and Porter. Actually, Joanne Porter.
Which is kind of what we expect
negative
from Porter.
defenders.
Yeah.
Net negative defenders are only Stone and Cruz, but they offset that with really good offensive performances.
I think his stats, Phillips' stats, are probably slightly over exaggerated because in Minnesota he played 13 minutes with
And he played really bad.
0 points. He didn't shoot the ball at all with 1 turnover. So I think that's indicative. But then you go against SEMO. He played 21 minutes.
He was not good against SEMO.
Shot 60% from the field. He shot 25 from the free throw line. Ended with 7 points, 4 turnovers. So
Brody in the chat just kind of got to what I was waiting to say this whole time, which is basically that like I'm not too worried about it. I think like a lot of these these advanced metrics this early in the season are just so dependent on who you're playing, who's on the floor with you. I know it's an individual stat technically, but obviously it matters what the guys around you are doing, and it matters who the other team has on the floor at that time. And there's so many factors here. It's just too early. We're like, I'm not getting hung up on the Beja ratings or whatever. You know, I'm the old you're the egghead. I'm the whatever the opposite of that is, I guess. Just the old dad. But like, no, I'm not worried. Like I've been watching the games, and I think he looks like he's been having a positive impact on both ends of the floor to my eye. So I'm not.
That's funny because on my eye, I agree with these stats heavily. I think he's not having he's having a positive impact in this game right now. I think he's abusing Prairie View. But like, so Rock M likes to use the synergy stats, and they released something which says that Phillips has a net rating of minus 41.5 using synergy data. And look, here's the thing: the start of this game, the first 14 minutes were slow. What was the lineup? It was our starting jumbo lineup, and then the second they took Phillips off, the game took off. And here's the thing: the game also was fine when they do Phillips but no Mark. So I don't even necessarily think it's a Phillips problem. I think it's a problem of trying to play Phillips and Mark together.
But we've been playing against small teams, so we're not going to have like it doesn't. There are going to be games when we play against bigger lineups where I don't know. Who knows? Those guys that get paid to do this are way smarter than I am. But we did not look like we wanted to bang down low against the teams that, like, it was one of our big criticisms is against, like, Howard. And I don't know if that's because we couldn't. Maybe, like, that's what these stats are telling us, is that we should have been able to just bang them down low, use our size, whatever, and we couldn't. to my eye, it's like it didn't really seem like we were trying to do that. It's like we were kind of trying to play our same game that we're hoping to play in SEC play against smaller, lesser opponents. And I don't really know how much stock I put in that.
Okay, so now this what you're saying doesn't make sense to me then, because you're like, they're smaller teams and we weren't. Yes, we did. They spent the beginning of every game trying to feed Phillips purposefully to make him score, and it barely worked. The issue being is
you were just saying he played 13 minutes overall.
But that was just Minnesota. I'm saying the previous 3 games, and I think on top of that, the only way that jumbo lineup works is if Porter's shot like he did today, where he actually hit 2 threes off the rip. But he has not looked good shooting besides today's game. And
Phillips, Phillips. Sorry, Porter. Sorry, I was responding to Glenn in the chat, so I got distracted. My bad.
Yeah, these are these season stats.
Yeah,
and the defense has been bad too. It's not even like they're compensating for good offense with the jumbo lineup with bad offense with good defense. The defense has been bad. They can't rotate fast enough. So that's what I think. I think the jumbo lineup could do better against bigger teams, but I think offensively it's going to struggle continuously. But if it's not being paid off with a good defensive side, then I don't know why we're running the jumbo lineup at all. We're not getting rebounding.
I love Jambalaya as much as the next guy, but I mean, at a certain point, we got to mix in. You
know that I'm right, and you deflect.
Look, you just keep almost saying Jambalaya over and over again, and I'm supposed to not react to it.
Jumbo lineup.
I know.
I do like jumbo lineup though.
And like a better way to like explain those ratings, and it's probably something I should have done many moons ago, but I'll do it now.
Moonfather.
Yeah, is it a full moon? I don't know.
Oh, almighty egghead, bless us.
Hey, Mr. Egghead. It's basically like the OBPR is how much better your offense gets just by having you on the floor. It takes into account everything, like the stats, the current lineup, their rating, who he's playing against, and it's boiled down to points per 100 possessions. Like everything is, the points per 100 possessions is centric. So if he's a plus 1 or a -1, then your offense is +1 or -1 points better or worse per 100 possessions against an average D1 team. So with him being a -1 or whatever, he is costing Mizzou 1 point per 100 possessions, and then the inverse on defense. So
yeah, it's like it's essentially like war. For baseball, but it's per 100 possessions. It's war.
Yes.
This is war.
So it doesn't like it in a micro level. People can lose it. I think when you see some of these stats, and it's obviously very early, so it's not something like I hang a ton of weight on. But I think it's really interesting, like just through seeing average opponents, and he's the only guy that clocks out with a negative rating, or even Cruz is the only guy with a negative defensive rating. It's just interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's like
just dropped it
leading.
And turned it over.
Well, also Cruz has hit 3 of 4 from 3 points.
Yes,
so
yes, that's it's what we were saying. Yeah,
it's
he
literally
overall makes up for everything, but it's fine.
So, so Mike also has in our doc this interesting breakdown of the best 2, 3, 5, and 4-man lineups for the Tigers. Every single lineup includes Cruz and Mitchell. Now, it'd be interesting if, I want to say when Pearson, Boateng play, but I'm now on if they play.
Yeah.
But like how that changes. But for right now, the best 2-man lineup has Cruz and Mitchell in it. The best 3-man lineup is Cruz, Mitchell, Robinson. The best 4-man lineup is Cruz, Mitchell, Northweather, Stone. And the best 5-man lineup is Cruz, Mitchell, Northweather, Robinson, Stone. And you could have told me that without showing me the numbers. I would have believed you, because I feel like anytime those 5 are on the floor, that's when our offense really goes.
Yeah, and that's been the most fun.
And the defense looks the best too. Now, once again, that might change when we're playing against a team with a legitimate like big man, and you need Stone out there Phillips out there to hold the line. But like, that's just a much better lineup, and it's weird that I guess my question is, why have they decided, even though the stats aren't good, and I know they look at the stats, right? This is the 5-man lineup they have to start.
I don't know. I agree with everything that basically that you said. Like, that is when our offense has been the most explosive. I would also say, like, I think more than most teams in the country, I don't know, like, compared, like, what percentage of teams in the country this is true about, but compared to most teams in the country, our offense and defense are linked. So you were like, our offense looks the best when they're on the floor, and our defense looks like it's working too. It's all in tandem with Mizzou, right? With the we've talked about it before. Our approach to defensive rebounding and breakouts, all of that stuff. Everything is tied together, offensively and defensively. And so that's been working for the opponents that we've been playing so far. No questions asked. Now, like you also said, as we get into SEC play and we need some bigger bodies out there, I think that's why maybe you've seen them trying to get that 5 on the floor and maybe get them a little bit more experience, get them maybe a little bit more chemistry going, because we're gonna need that lineup to at least be competent as we face bigger bodies, right?
I guess we'll see.
You don't think we're gonna need them to be competent?
I think the jumbo lineup would still struggle against bigger competition, and purely because they're just not good defensively together. I don't think they have enough. I don't know. I'm at this point we're going completely by conjecture, but if Porter is put up against anybody of any sort of speed at the 4, I think that's going to be a big issue for them defensively. And so far they can totally tighten up, but when you're asking those 3 guys, Mark, Sean, and Javon, to scramble off a broken after getting beat off a dribble, I don't know how well it's going to go for the defense.
So who's your ideal 5 for like most of SEC play then? If we're not doing the jumbo,
if we're still not considering Trent and Boat, I think the top 5 would be Ant, Stone, Cruz, Mitchell, Northweather.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's what you should start.
That's funny you mentioned that. I'm looking at the most used lineups, like per minutes, and that starting 5 clocks in at the 3rd most used and has the best plus minus at 22.
Because you know what Mitchell can't do? He can't start with the ball at the top of the key, drive in, and have an empty lane. I think the second or third offensive play of this game, he got the ball, tried to drive. Phillips just stood there. They got clogged and lost the ball. But then later, when Phillips is off the floor, the shooter spacing the entire arc. He gets the ball at the top of the key, has a mismatch, drives on the guy, easy bucket. So it's like if Mark is the fulcrum of our team, you set up the team to allow him to flourish in all his skill set. And I think it's kind of like how anyone watches NBA, how Anthony Davis continues to demand to be a 4 when the team always, like every one of his teams forever, analytically has played better. He's a 5. It's like, that's the same thing. I'm not asking Mark to play the 5 because Northweather can play the 5. But the point being is you need a 5 that can shoot with Mark. Mark has to, if Mark's most successful, when every other player on the floor can shoot, at least somewhat. And so in that way, when Trent can play the 4, and Mark can be a small ball 5. But it still stands the way they play. So I don't know. We're gonna be talking about this toward death in the face because knowing Gates, he's gonna roll out the same lineup against every one of these small weak teams. But I think Notre Dame's gonna be the first real test. Like if this lineup is still not working by Notre Dame, I think you gotta scrap it. But hopefully by Notre Dame, Pierce and Boat are playing, or at least Boat's playing.
That was
like I'm a little concerned because Burns and Boat are the ones who are warming up. Pierce isn't even warming up anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like,
what's the? I was gonna ask you, what's the
no one
we
knows.
need to go to the Julian's Power Mizzou Forum recap.
No one knows. Everyone's just mad about it.
A lot of rumors.
No rumors even. No one knows.
Rumors? I saw a rumor. Someone sent me a rumor.
What was the rumor?
You saw the rumor. I'm thinking, but what is one of you guys sent it to me?
Oh no, that was just some guy.
That's a rumor. That's what a rumor is, Julian.
So the rumor is that they got in trouble.
Yeah.
But knowing Boat and Pierce, no, that doesn't seem.
No, I'm not. I don't think it's true. I was just wondering if there was what else do we have to like go off at this point? Like, is there
Curtis,
anything
what happened
more
to the score
injuries?
bug?
It's on commercial break.
Sorry.
So I took it off.
Big as aquarium glass.
on. Yeah.
Got real mad at you.
You want the score bug for Coastal Carolina? Whatever.
I'm doing this for the viewers. If you're gonna breathe that heavy, please mute your mic.
Dude,
speaking.
I just had a bunch. I ate like a half gallon of.
It sounds like you just
soup.
ran up the stairs and then sat down.
Dude, I'm so fucking hot right now. I'm like willing it to get cold outside. So
Mike's
like,
been
you know,
holding his mic 6 feet from his
You're
face
just like-
the entire season, and then when he decides to
Dude.
breathe heavy, he's when he
It's
holds
so
it.
hot.
Please just mute between speaking,
That's
my man.
funny. That's funny.
I want people to watch. All right, so don't mute yet, Mike, because I want you to explain. I want you
we're
to
going to
explain.
rumors, and then we're going to Vogue. Anyway, continue.
You have another interesting graph. So there's a graph of effective field goal percentage for and against, has all the SEC teams on it. If I'm reading this right,
Yeah.
of all the SEC teams, Missouri has currently the best effective field goal percentage. So our offense is like the best in the SEC right now.
Yeah, when it comes to, you hit it. Well, it's also cross-referenced to opponent effective field goal percentage. So like, the average opponent against an SEC team is shooting like just over 46%. Mizzou opponents are shooting like right under 48%. So like nothing crazy. We'll get to the point where we can share screens one day.
That's what I'm trying to pull up right now. Sorry.
I don't know if
We'll get to it, but just know that Missouri's offense.
If
is
you
really
share
good
your
right now.
screen, I believe it'll work. If you share your screen on the Riverside.
I got too many tabs open right now.
All
I
right,
think
so
I
it's
can
not
do
just
it.
me.
You all are ridiculous. I think I can.
No,
do
I'm
it.
kidding. I mean, I can if you want me to.
Yeah, if one of you
I
shares,
don't know
I
if we
want
want to
everyone
go.
to know
That'll
this is
work, that'll
Evan
work.
Mia's stuff. Evan
No,
Mia's
this-
stuff.
Here we
Yes.
go, here we
Well,
go.
this is
Yeah. Boom.
the effective field goal percentage is the Twitter handle CBB Analytics behind their paywall.
If this video gets taken down, you know
Yeah,
why.
Mike sure he paid content on here. That's why he's been breathing so heavy. He's worried about the feds.
He's so
coming
nervous.
for him.
Dude, I can't lose all my LinkedIn accounts.
But so here's also apparently Tigers play Houston Rockets style basketball, only layups and only threes.
Yeah, they're
And then Mark's little like pull up shots.
Yeah, Tigers are shooting like 40 or 45 more shots inside the paint than the three right now.
Dude, they've been dominating but here's the thing, 3-point
It was pretty
percentage has
spread
been
out.
good. 3-point percentage has been good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
44% from 3? That's crazy.
The one thing that I think you'll see over time, you can maybe for another episode against one of these Sister Mary schools, the heat maps from last year are really interesting when Grill was playing. Like, he loved those corner threes.
We are not hitting from corner 3. All our
No.
threes come from the elbow. That's not the elbow. What's that part I called again? Oh my
Grill
god.
loved all the threes.
Your corner 3 is supposed to be your best thing, but I think what's crazy.
Yeah, the elbow
we give up.
extended, though. Yeah.
Wait. On the defensive Blues, where we're giving up shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're so weak in the paint, and we're weak on the right corner 3, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is our
I'm-
interior defense so ass?
Whoa, hey, why are we so butt?
I think it's just it could be just the defensive schemes we're running, because that's just indicative of like total shots. Like, I think you can get some games where we can go look back at the box scores where there's like a ton of points in the paint, and then other games where there's not. But like we really haven't played a team
True.
that
Against VMI made like 6 points in the paint.
yeah. So we're not it'll be interesting come like Notre Dame is when you want to look at it like
This
again and
chart's
see
gonna
like
look a lot different.
like what changes, and then like we haven't really faced a team that is like an elite like 3-point shooting team that's shooting like consistently high 30s or 40% from the three, or like a BYU last year or something like that. Like, we just haven't.
And on the offensive end, we haven't really played anybody big enough to stop us in the paint.
No.
So, therefore,
expose
our high
us.
3-point shooting percentage, or higher than we anticipate it being at the end of the season, probably linked into that we've been able to kind of drive at will, and so teams eventually collapse. We're getting a lot of open threes is what I'm getting at.
Well, I
Because
think
we've
it
had
has
a
been
size
really
advantage
good.
against everyone.
I think another thing, not to belabor the Phillips Mitchell point again, but the cutting legs are so much better when only one of them's on the floor. Because Phillips actually can pass. Mark can pass. But when they're both on the floor, there's just no cutting lane. Anyway, that's the point I wanted to bring up.
But I think they can figure out some sort of chemistry there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
it hasn't looked great so far.
The recruiting class has officially been signed. No last-minute shenanigans. Nothing of the sort.
Not yet.
By most recruiting standards, the Missouri class is anywhere from 1 to 3. Really, really good class. You got Jason Crow Jr., who will probably be one of the best scorers this school's seen in a very long time. Can score every which way all the way to Sunday. Now, he's by far the one who could most likely be one and done, and if things go well, he should be one and done. The other two members of the class, I think, are fascinating. So Tony Bryant, he's ranked 97 on 247, or he's a 97 4-star, but he's a composite 5, so you combine like all the different rating services. And he's basically I think the way they view him is the next Mark Mitchell. His athleticism is super high. His shooting's not quite there yet, but his defense is really good. He can play all over the paint, and he's just uber athletic. So he's a guy who you're thinking 2 years. First year kind of rough, but second year he just flourishes. I mean, Mark, who was I think a high 4, low 5-star, has been a 4-year player. So I think you could see Tony Bryant in a similar role. And then Aiden Chronister, 3-point specialist, composite 4-star, 6'7", so tall white guys. We love tall white guy shooters. 6'7". Anyone who's a teacher in the chat, I'm sorry.
Took me a second.
But Chronister is an interesting recruit. So 4-star, really good shooter. You think he'd have a pretty good offer list. Mizzou was battling Oklahoma State, Wake Forest, and SLU for him. And so the guys at Rock M made a good point, is that currently in the recruiting landscape, the pendulum has swung to transfers. Most coaches are saying, I'm going to go really hard the transfer class. So the idea is if the kid you're recruiting in high school can play now or has a path to play in the first year, you take them. But there's no one really wants to develop a kid anymore because you don't want to waste their time developing them and then they transfer out. Why not let them go to a small school? They actually play well. Then you lure them into the portal and bring them in. And so guys like Cronus, who I think a few years ago would have still had a pretty good offer list, are now being pushed down to like lower tier schools. Mizzou didn't want to do that. Mizzou still took them, and they've talked a lot about how they still view high school recruiting as the foundation, the core, and then you add on what you need through transfer portal. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, is that true? Are we going to see Chronister here year 3, year 4 shooting the ball like crazy, or are they living in the past? Because by all accounts, if you look every year, you look at the tournament, the teams that tend to do the best are the ones who have had multiple players as part of their core who have been there for multiple years. And transfers might get you to the tournament, but having a team full of transfers doesn't usually mean you get far. What are your guys' thoughts? If you have any, I kind of spieled there for a minute.
Mike, you gotta unmute yourself before you hop in. But
take a deep breath before.
I'm going back into the aquarium now.
No, I was just typing. Got other irons in the fire right now.
He's always working, guys. He's always working.
Always typing.
Dude, I mean, if you're not scouting UT Arlington and Evansville tomorrow,
what are you doing?
Sorry.
God, what is going on up here?
But anywho, yes, the NIL has been very fascinating to me, and I don't know. Yeah, one of our other former colleagues lives on the East Coast. We talk quite a bit about this, or we have in the past. Like, do you spend time even looking at high school recruits to a certain degree, versus you just find, kids off the streets essentially in the NIL portal every year? You had 1,600 players this past season, and I mean, hopefully you can find 5 that know how to play basketball in some capacity.
that you can afford as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then it's a dollar. It's going to flip to like an investment of like what'd you get out of that, and I think that's really hard to quantify right now.
Well, Julian's talked often about how Gates' approach has been
I
to usually go for guys both in recruiting and the portal that he thinks will be here for multiple years.
Yeah, I think high school is hard to judge unless you're at a legitimate top, let's just say 25 program, like these prep schools. I think it's really hard to judge if that level of play is going to transfer over right away to D1, unless like they're just an absurd athlete, so to speak.
That used to not matter as much, but now if you can just if you're not happy with your playing time,
well, that's the catch. Is like
and you
that's
just leave.
That's what I've have talked to other people about. It's like, well, I think it used to be like if you were a kid and you transferred a couple times and you sat in timeout for a little bit and then you got to play, like people were maybe always a little like cautious or a little weary because it's like, well, why is he leaving? Was it did he not get along with the coach? Was it playing time? Was it
academics?
Yeah, was
things,
it behavioral? Was it he just didn't fit the system? Did the coach kind of lie to him and another kid came in and took him? Like there's just too many variables, and I think you have to look at that in the same, I would argue, the same eye as you do now. Like you have to think you're not leaving a program now. Now people are just chasing the bag, but you can make the argument that you're not leaving a program because yes, you're chasing the bag, but like I would venture to bet that more often than not, like something was wrong. Like I don't just view
there's
it as
a
like,
reason beyond money.
I don't think you can just like solely hang your hat on.
Okay, well look at last year's team. They put a lot of time into Marcus Allen, a lot of time into Peyton Marshall,
A lot,
and then they're gone. Like Marcus Allen was someone who everyone's like, oh, like he was playing regularly. He showed promise.
Yeah.
It's really obvious what his role is gonna be next year, and then he goes to Miami. And part of it, you could like, I'm sure there's probably like
there's behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, there's behind the scenes stuff.
And
but
I
it's
can't
like,
think of a single person who would rather spend time in Miami than Columbia, Missouri. By the way.
that's.
I mean,
Look,
it's Miami's wonderful.
But the point being
Stir in the
is,
pot.
you get why coaches feel that way, where it's like, I had this kid, he was playing minutes, I was developing him, he had a role, and he seemed to love being there too. And then he's out. Also, Nicholas Randall has now gotten 4 fouls, 0 points. I think that's great. Go freshman, go.
There's stuff we're not privy to. Like, do you think these kids know that, hey, there's a wave of kids coming in, and these kids
Marcus Allen was like gonna play anyway. I think Peyton Marshall. There's been a rumor, a whispering that, and this is what is even more frustrating, is that Trent Burns was looking so good in practice that Peyton Marshall was like, I'm not going to get minutes, and that was a big reason he transferred. But Burns gets hurt. But look, I think. Well, also there's a rumor that I don't know which one, but of the 2 players who entered the transfer portal, one immediately regretted it and asked to come back, and they said, by the way. And they said no. Sorry, you made your decision. So I think a lot of times also these kids get bad advice and then regret their decision later on down the line.
Yeah, they're not there. I don't know. We're in the infancy of the actual impacts and being able to quantify where these kids actually fit into a team instead of like, it's basically, this is like the minor league NBA.
Yeah,
it's like the H
Gates
League.
talking to Randall here is after
dude. I watched him talk.
Fouled out. Oh man,
he goes. He looks at me.
We
He
can't
goes.
show you guys, but oh man, what
He's
what
going.
was
He's
your lip
going.
reading?
I no. I love the immediately I saw him go. You're playing hard. Why are you playing smart? Ian in the chat asks, "Is Jane Stone the new Cash Robertson?" I still think Cash is better. But I think they play very similar. Like when Stone came in, I was like, is he the next Marquise? He's much closer to the next Cash Robertson than he is to the next Marquise Work. Like Marquise would have games he never touches. I think Jane Stone has to play, and regularly, for this team to be successful. I don't know if Jane Stone's ever going to start this year, though.
I think he will at some point. I think he's a guy who's gonna like earn a couple of like just playing hard. His like the team efficiency numbers. I can't remember. It was the game before Minnesota, so maybe it was VMI. It was either VMI or SEMO. The efficiency numbers when he was on the floor were bad, but then with Minnesota, I think they were really good. So I think he's kind of working his way into all of that stuff. And we've seen him hit threes, we've seen him slash, we've seen him dunk, we've seen him play defense. Hasn't been a great defender so far, but I think he's working his way into all that.
But Mac is better overall player, but Jane has been much better on offense than Mac. Yeah. So it just kind of depends what you want for sure. Jabari Brown for the Unks. Jane Stone is not like Jabari Brown.
Shout out
Jabari Brown was much better.
Yeah. That was
Also, Jabari Brown never showed emotion. This was his face the entire time.
It's true.
Powerful stuff.
Even on the Lakers.
Yeah. All right. So next section, it's our future opponent preview. Future opponent preview. Let's look what our future opponents are doing. I don't look at the crap teams. I know you guys are playing hard, but I don't care. I'm looking at our next 4 big opponents. I'm going to share my screen again.
Go for it.
So South Dakota fans, don't come at me, please. All 4 of you, please don't come at me.
Yeah, everyone in the chat right now is actually a South Dakota fan.
Okay, so we got Notre Dame, current record 3-1, KenPom 16. Beat Long Island, beat Detroit Mercy, beat Eastern Illinois, lost to Ohio State 64-63. Ohio State is 35 in KenPom. That's our first look. Excited for this game. It's at Notre Dame, right? Or is Notre Dame coming here? Do you remember? Check.
I've got every single tab is locked up on my head. Mike, please Google this. I thought that game was on the road, and then because we got Minnesota at home, I thought Notre Dame was on the road.
Jacob Cruz is the white Matt Lawrence. They're both white. That's good, Ian.
I tried to get Ian to call in.
Who? I think Jacob Cruz is more athletic than Matt Lawrence, for sure. I think Matt Lawrence literally couldn't move.
It's in Notre Dame.
Yeah, okay.
It's at Notre Dame?
Yeah, it's at Notre Dame.
I think them taking Ohio State to the wire is a really interesting comparison. I don't know how Ohio State compares to our team at all, but I thought that was especially interesting and illuminating for them to be so close to Ohio State in that game. Then we have Kansas, current record 3-1, KenPom 26. Beat Green Bay, lost at North Carolina. Beat Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, beat Princeton. All of those pretty far out. Now their star number 2 recruit in the nation, freshman, has not been playing, and no one knows when it's like a similar situation away to our 3 players. Only for them it's 1, but that's something to keep an eye on. Illinois, number 6 ranked in the nation, and a very scary looking team full of international players. They whipped basically everyone on their schedule, and they beat Texas Tech, who is 16 at KenPom, 81-77. And then Florida, current KenPom 8. They lost first Arizona in the first game of the season, but then beat North Florida, barely beat Florida State, and then with Miami. So interesting start for Florida coming off the championship. Any thoughts on those 4 teams? Just wanted to give the general audience a preview of the big games coming up.
They're all really good, and those Eastern Europeans are going to be a problem.
I don't know if Notre Dame's amazing, but
no, mostly the other ones. The 3 after that, I am very, very concerned about. I don't really put much stock. The Florida State game, obviously, weird stuff.
Rivalry game.
Yeah. Man, Tallahassee and Gainesville get together. Anything's possible.
Is Florida State a bigger rivalry, or is Florida Miami a bigger rivalry?
It depends on the year. It's kind of as a current Floridian, it just kind of depends. Like whoever's team is better is usually talking more crap. Florida State is much closer, proximity wise, but there are more Miami fans throughout the state. But I think they're both. I'd pretty much put them as equal. I think maybe they were looking ahead to Miami just a tad bit in that Florida State game, though.
Dude, sorry, I have to shout out Brody. North Weather is Justin Safford. wrong, but I do love mentioning Justin Safford. Hashtag Justin Safford mentioned. Champ Cadwell, Northweather is less athletic Andrew Jones.
Is that Andrew Jones, the baseball player?
Yeah, no, he was the football he was the tight end who then played on the basketball team.
I thought you meant Atlanta Braves legend. Okay,
Andrew Jones was so athletic, he just had no actual basketball skill. But boy, did he care. Northweather's the opposite. He's not very athletic, but he actually knows where he's like. Northweather knows what he's supposed to do all the time. He's in the right spot. He makes the right read. He does the right thing. He just has no athleticism. So that's the opposite of Andrew Jones. But once again, I love everyone in the chat mentioning obscure Mizzou basketball players that I love remembering, like them pop in my mind when you.
My whole thing. That's why we did the deep dive on the 2013, 2014 team.
So chat, keep it up. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, the Northweather. Well, I think Brody mentioned it first in the chat. Was the Northweather his spacing, despite his lack of athleticism, I think his spacing seems to work better for Mitchell. In letting Mitchell get those opportunities.
Zach, you want to share? Mike, you want to share with the chat about UT Arlington tomorrow?
I think it's a slightly mispriced game.
Who are they playing?
UT. Well, playing Evansville.
You know, Missouri's getting all of these bet bonuses. You get like the free bets and then the extra bet credits.
I think I'm gonna get
and just throwing it around a bit, see what happens.
I think I'm gonna get fucked out of those because I already have accounts with. Oh, hey, sorry.
Gambling brought up in Mike immediately.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I already have accounts at every. You got 2 minutes. Let me tell you a funny story. Not even funny. I was more taken aback by it, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. So me and my wife, not a single dad. Me and my wife went to the Blues game a couple nights ago, and of course the shills for DraftKings set up a booth inside. Sign up, and they were giving out like little cool little koozies.
Yeah,
and I was like,
free
hey man,
vapes,
like
free bets, man.
they're just trying to get accounts and get all these future penny slot addicts over to these micro betting bets now. But anywho, I asked him like, hey, can I grab a koozie? I got an account. He literally made me pull out my phone and log into my DraftKings and show him.
To give you the koozie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, these cost you 10 fucking cents. Like, I'll go
again, Michael.
Sorry. I got a potty mouth. Sorry.
Oh my God.
This is what gambling. It's not even gambling. It's what the books. This is their fault.
This is what the grind of driving 30-mile round, 60-mile round trips over to Illinois does for you for 3 years. But anywho, no. My only thought is I think Notre Dame will be a really good game, really good road game after playing these just dog water schools. It'll be interesting to see if Gates calls off the dogs on Cleveland State.
Yeah, I'm interested about how he treats that game. But speaking of dog water teams, up next we got South Dakota Coyotes, who every single one of their players is negative BPR, which means they're below average.
Yeah.
Their only significant game was that they lost to number 23 Cranes 76-92. I thought that was a good comparison game. They're 278 in KenPom. Their mascot is weird. Look at this.
Oh, I love their. Have you pull up? Do you have the actual mascot on there or no?
I'm showing it right now.
No. I mean, okay.
I love it.
I mean, like the guy in the suit.
Oh, I'll get to that in a second. The big thing for me is I don't like
good.
the way this wolf is like positioned to look at the
whatever's going on between his legs. Draws my attention to an area that maybe I shouldn't be looking at.
So this is a female wolf.
It looks like the Lombardi Trophy down there.
It actually kind of looks like a pawn from the game of chess.
The game of chess.
Yeah, we are. The Tigers are only going to win by like 18. So if you bet the 35 point, you're bad.
I was about to say, we're not going to cover. I was waiting until the game was pretty much started.
And
yes, here we go. This is my guy.
Like.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yes.
Copyright infringement right there.
Oh my God, that is Wile E. Coyote.
Yes,
it is. I guess they get away with it because do they? It's a nonprofit. They're not profiting off the image and likeness.
It's just a coyote. It's a happy coyote, okay? You know, it's not. I'm sure there was a lawsuit at some point. Really, I love that he's wearing like the Allen Iverson shorts.
Dude, Jacob Curse just got a rebound dunk. Oh,
Ooh, like a putback
white
slam.
boy's going crazy. Matt gave him a chest bump too.
There we go.
Wild stuff.
Guys,
I think Cruz got almost 20 points. I gotta see the stat line.
I've got absolutely no notable alums from University of South Dakota. And keep in mind, I had a notable alum from, what was it, JWU, remember, who played against SEMO or against VMI?
Don't bring up alums from schools we're not even playing. I'm sure there's...
No, I'm saying I brought that up. We're playing South Dakota next game, and there's no one I can find. But I even had one for JWU. Because this is what I do. I got nothing. Andrew Van Ginkel, linebacker in the NFL,
a bunch of
I guess would be the
politicians.
closest. Oh yeah, so many politicians. And then Andrew Van Ginkel.
Excuse me. The famous CFL All-Star cornerback Dwight Anderson played for South Dakota. Don't you diminish the Canadian Football League's accomplishments?
The Grey Cup was just a couple nights ago. I'm sure Mike had a rack or two on that. Shout out Saskatchewan or whoever won the championship. I don't know.
I caught
Canadians.
I caught the bit of the halftime. I guess MGK went up there. They couldn't find any better Canadian artist.
He's not even Canadian.
I know, that's the bit.
Okay.
I mean, Eminem,
Rush isn't touring anymore.
Yeah. Dude, I shout out Rush. That was my story time. 2 minutes. I'm gonna take it anyway. That was my first concert. 2007 Snakes and Arrows tour.
All right.
It was at the it's now the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Was formerly, I believe, the I want to say Verizon Wireless Amphitheater. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and my dad. Then we went to Waffle House at like 2:30 in the morning.
What a day! What a day!
Yeah, then I saw him again. Dude.
Get to see your dad twice.
Saw your dad again? Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. I wish.
Dude, only when the moon aligns correctly.
My dad went to Waffle House and never came back. My first concert, right. Casey and the Sunshine Band. Julian, hit us with yours real quick.
Yeah.
Then you can sign off.
First concert. Did I really go to concert as a kid?
Jeez.
First concert.
Jeez.
My family was not a concert-going family. I played in concerts because I was in band.
Okay.
No, we're talking like real music.
Real music?
Yeah.
Any like?
I'm not joking.
I'm not joking.
I think the free concert Mizzou put on when you first attended was my first.
Oh yeah.
concert.
Who was it? Who was it that year? It was Jason Derulo.
I thought it was Imagine Dragons.
It was Imagine Dragons. It was Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, got
Jason Derulo the year before, and it like rained
now,
out. They had to move it inside. The acoustics were messed up.
Thanks to dating my now wife, I have seen a lot of concerts because she likes to go to concerts. But before then, I was not a concert person. I never really went.
Curtis, who did we see?
Anyway, I gotta go. Shout out to the Tigers.
Was it Matt and Kim? I think we saw Matt and Kim, right?
Big win.
I don't remember.
My camera.
Julian's losing his marbles over here. All right, the game is final. Another dub. We did not cover. So, Mike, what do we move? Is it what's our record against the spread this year? That's two times we haven't covered. I believe
2-2,
2-3, right? Or 3-2 against the spread. We covered against we covered against VMI. We covered against Howard, and we covered against Minnesota.
So
Look at the UT Arlington game tomorrow.
We didn't cover against SEMO or tonight, so 3-2. Right? Yeah.
All right.
I'm the gambling.
Signing off. Bye.
All right.
Yeah.